Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League and we want to be featuring a slightly different team today. We're going to be running the Shadow Sandslash with the Trevenant and Jellicent in the back here. We have the Lantern versus Sandslash, pretty neutral matchup. Kind of depends on who decides to bait and who decides to shield the right moves. We go for the drill run right there. Our opponent ends up shielding it correctly. The opponent throws the Surf. We shield it just to keep the health of the Sandslash pretty healthy, but they do get us on the next one, and they are able to catch a drill run right there. So looks like they have the advantage right now. We're going to throw this Ice Punch here to chip away at this Mandibuzz. We know that this Mandibuzz knows Dark moves and possibly Flying moves or a Shadow Ball, but we're going to stay in because we don't want to see this Mandibuzz in our backline. Now we switch out because we have two counters to this Medicham right here, and we're going to throw this Shadow Ball right here. This Shadow Ball is either going to get a shield or it's going to get some big damage. Our opponent ends up shielding and then switching back into the Lantern. This Lantern has enough energy for the Thunderbolt. It does take us out. We do have the Trevenant lurk in the back here, so we are looking to come back in with the Trevenant and get a lot of energy out of this situation. We resist all the moves from this Lantern, so we don't have to worry about the Lantern here, but we want to exit this matchup with some energy so that we can throw it right back at that Medicham. One C-Bomb does take out that Lantern, but unfortunately we do not have a Shadow Ball ready for this Medicham right here, so GG's to our opponent right there. Cannot take down the Medicham Lantern core. Although we did have our move caught, we should have been aware of that, but we move on. So next game here, we are going to be facing the Mirror Sandslash. The Mirror Sandslash is also a tricky situation. It all depends on who's going to be able to shield correctly and bait correctly. We go for the Ice Punch and we do get the shield. They go for the Drill Run. They switch out into the Lickitung. Lickitung is also bad for our backline here, so we're just going to chip and hopefully we do enough damage. So we do go and chip and then we exit out into the Trevenant. We can resist all of these moves, but these fast move licks are taking a toll. So that's why we decided to chip and dip with it. And hopefully we can get this low enough to where we can farm down with something in the back. Here our opponent ends up throwing another Power Whip. Doesn't quite KO, but the ensuing licks do take us out here. So this Lickitung has done his job. We are going to go back in with our Sandslash because we have some energy, and then we're going to throw this Ice Punch here to potentially take out this Lickitung. They decide to let it go. They come back in with their Medicham. I have a Jellicent ready for them, and we know that this Jellicent is pretty decent against the Medicham if we can get the Shadow Ball off correctly. Here we're just going to apply the pressure. We go for the Shadow Ball. Our opponent ends up letting it go. And now we are faced with the Sandslash in the back here. This Sandslash is going to be able to tank this. Oh. Okay. Our opponent ends up going to going for this Sandslash right here. This Sandslash does tank a Surf. And then we're going to be able to shield this Sandslash that we have right now. And hopefully, nope, we don't even get to another move. So GG's to our opponent right there. Unfortunately, not able to come back from that situation. The Lickitung in the back is a problem for us, especially since Darks and Ghost types lurk in the back. We're going to have to make an adjustment right here. We are thinking about changing the Trevenant into the Clefable here. So let's see if this is going to help us out here. It will do much better against the Ghost types and especially the Dark types. So we got the terrible Medicham matchup here. We're going to switch out into the Clefable. Our opponent ends up switching into the Umbreon. Interesting. So they know that they don't want to see Umbreon. So interesting that maybe they have two Darks or something. They only have Last Resort to take out this Clefable. So we're going to apply the pressure. We got 1 Meteor Mash right here. That does get shielded. We're debating whether to shield this one or not. We don't shield here. And then our opponent ends up throwing... Oh, we are going to throw another Meteor Mash here to potentially get the last shield. They decided to let it go. And so they have revealed that they have the Medicham and Umbreon. Not exactly sure what they have in the back at this point, as both Umbreon and Medicham are weak to Charmers. Here we're going to go back in with our Jellicent and throw this Shadow Ball for a lot of pressure. They decide to shield, so we're going to decide to shield this. We think that they do not want to see this Jellicent. Okay, they don't want to see the Jellicent, but they also don't want to see us switch back into the Sandslash right here. So we immediately go for the Ice Punch and we take out that Gligar with the one shot right there. So GG's to our opponent. And that seems to be the right adjustment for this team here. Taking out the Trevenant and putting in the Clefable. Much better core and better matchups. All right. Speaking of terrible matchups, this is actually really bad for our Sandslash Clefable core here. So we're going to have to switch into our only counter. And we're just going to have to play with the switch timer. They do come back in with the Greninja. This Greninja is going to be able to throw super effective Night Slashes. We tank the first one. And it looks like we have to decide whether to shield this next one or not. We decide to shield this next one so that we can get off this Surf. Let's see if they allow us to get it through or they're going to shield. They do decide to shield, so at least we get one shield out of this situation. And now we have to decide to shield or not. They go for the Night Slash. We decide to let it go. Here, we're just going to have to try to farm and get as much damage as possible. We do shield the Night Slash, and we do come out with a good amount of energy that we can throw this potential Ice Punch bait. We do get the shield, and then we're going to race to the next move, and unfortunately, we do not get to that move right there. That Bone Club is going to be able to take us out, and now we're faced with a Marowak. Our opponent ends up switching into their Dugong right here. This Dugong is going to have to tank a Moonblast. Dugong is going to be able to get to a move right here. Will they go for the Drill Run or are they going to go for the Icy Wind? They go for the Icy Wind debuff right there. We're going to try to throw this next Moonblast right before they get to another move. We do take out, and unfortunately this Shadow Marowak is too much for us to beat, and they are able to get to another move. So GG's to our opponent right there. Shadow Marowak actually breaking up that core, and we are not able to come back from that situation. We know that we need to address the fire types, but we're banking on that. There's not a lot of fire types to deal with. So here we're going to be switching into the Clefable with another terrible lead. We do shield this first one right here. They revealed that they have a Sandslash in the back. So Sandslash in the back, we are going to get to this Meteor Mash right here. In fact, we get to 2 Meteor Mashes. We're going to force a shield or the KO. So we do get the shield, which is fantastic. This Clefable has done its job for what it's worth. It does get the Drill Run off. And now we have to come back in with the Sandslash, I believe. So we're going to go back in with the Sandslash, and we're going to have to... Okay, we're just going to have to let this one go. They go for the Ice Punch bait. We're looking for the farm down. Our opponent ends up throwing another move. Ends up being another Ice Punch right there. So we are able to get out of that situation pretty successfully. And now we have to beat a Medicham here. We do tank the first one, and our opponent ends up not getting the debuff. So we have a chance right here. We go for the Shadow Ball. They decided to let it go. We know that they have the Sandslash and then something else in the back here. We know that they leave right here. So GG's to our opponent right there. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.